I'm Dr. Seema Watts and I'm going to present on electrical energy. All of us have the experiences of lighting in the sky during thunderstorm, seeing a spark or hearing a crackle from synthetic clothes during dry weather. Well, this is all static electricity. Electrical energy we obtain from various sources like battery, powerhouses, etc. found wide variety of applications in our day-to-day life. It provides heat and light. It powers big machines, appliances and tools at home and in industries. For example, radio set, computers, television, vacuum cleaners, washing machine, mixer and grinder, X-ray machines, electric train, etc. Here in this lesson, we shall study the nature of electricity and way of its working. I am going to tell you in this chapter about how to identify two kinds of electric charges and describe the Coulomb's law, define the terms electrostatic potential and potential difference, define electric current, will state Ohm's law and define electrical resistance of a conductor. Also, we will be talking about computing the equivalent resistance of a number of series and parallel combination of resistors, the heating effect of current and the unit of electric power and electrical energy in commercial use and solve problems about these. Let us discuss what exactly is electrostatics. You must have observed that a plastic pen, when brought near a piece of paper, does not pick up small pieces of paper. But if you rub the pen through dry hair and bring it close to a small piece of paper, you will notice that the bits of paper are attracted towards the pen. Do you know why this happens? This happens because the pen gets charged or electrified when you rub it through the dry hair. The electricity or the charge developed on a body on rubbing with another body is called frictional electricity or static electricity. If we roll the pen between two hands, then try picking up the paper, then what will happen? The pen would not attract the bits of paper. Why does this happen? Because some bodies acquire electric charge on rubbing, but if it is touched to a conducting body or let us say a human body in contact with the ground, the charge leaks away to the earth. What do you infer from these activity? It is inferred that the two uncharged objects do not affect each other, but the two different types of charges, positive and negative, are produced. Like charges repel each other while unlike charges attract each other. Let us demonstrate another activity, that is, rub the glass rod with silk cloth. Rub the plastic straw with a paper. From the basic experiment, it is established that the charge developed on a glass rod on rubbing it with a silk cloth has a positive charge, and the charge developed on a straw rubbed with a paper has a negative charge. Do you know that in early days a French chemist, Charles Duffy, observed that the charge acquired by a glass rod rubbed with a silk is different from the charge acquired by an ebonite rod rubbed with fur or a wool. Duffy termed the charge acquired by glass rod in the first case as vitreous and the charge acquired by the ebonite rod on rubbing it with a wool as a resinous. Later on, Benjamin Franklin introduced the term positive in place of vitreous and negative in place of resinous, which is followed even today. How does rubbing leads to electric charges? Rubbing does not create charged particles, rather it transfers the negative charge from one material to the another. The material from which the negative charges have been transferred gets an excess of positive charge, and the one which receives the negative charge becomes negatively charged. On the basis of these observations, we have conservation of charge. It states that total amount of electric charge in an isolated system does not change with time. That is, the total amount of charge of an isolated system always remains constant. Coulomb presented the inference of his experiments in the form of law, which is called as Coulomb's law. The magnitude of the force of attraction or repulsion between 2 point charges is directly proportional to the product of the quantity of two charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. If a charge q1 is placed at a distance r from a similar charge q2, the two charges will continue to repel each other with a force F equal to k q1 q2 by r square, where k is a constant of proportionality depending on the nature of the medium in which the charges are placed. In SI unit, k is equal to 9 into 10 raised power 9 Newton meter per Coulomb square for vacuum or air, and the charge is a scalar quantity. What is the unit of charge? Well, Coulomb is a SI unit of charge. If q1 is equal to q2 equal to 1 Coulomb separated by a distance 1 meter, then F is equal to 9 into 10 raised power 9 Newton. Coulomb's law say that 1 Coulomb is the charge when placed at a distance of 1 meter from an equal like charge in vacuum experiences a repulsive force of 1 Newton. Force is directed along the line joining the center of the two charges. For like charges, force is repulsive, that is positive in sign. For unlike charges, it is attractive, that is with a negative sign. Let us talk about electric field. A charge distribution produces a field in space surrounding it called as electric field. In an electric field, at a point, the strength of the field is called as electric field strength, and it is defined as the force experienced by a unit positive charge or a test charge supposed to be placed at that point. What happens if we try to charge the already charged body? The charge will experience a force of repulsion due to already existing charge on it. Therefore, some work has to be done by external agent to overcome this force of repulsion. This work will be stored up as electrostatic potential energy in this system of charges. The electrostatic potential energy possessed by a charge q is given by U is equal to k capital Q small q divided by r, where a charge small q be moved up to a distance r towards a source charge which is denoted by capital Q. Let us talk about what is the definition of electrostatic potential energy. The electrostatic potential energy or electrostatic potential at any point in the vicinity of a charge is defined as the amount of work done in bringing a unit positive charge from infinity to that point. If W is the work done in bringing a positive charge q from infinity to a point in the vicinity of the source charge q, the potential V at that point due to charge q is given by V is equal to W by q. SI unit of this potential is volt or joule per coulomb. Let us talk about the concept of potential difference. For this, consider a charge q placed at a point as shown in the figure, where there are 2 points C and B, and the charge q is coming from infinity to either B or C. Let B and C be the 2 points where B point is closer to q than C. If a charge q is brought from infinity to C or from infinity to B, the work done respectively would be WC and WB. The potential at point B would be given by VB is equal to WP by Q, and the potential at point C is given by VC is equal to WC by Q. The potential difference is the difference in potentials VB and VC, that is VB minus VC is equal to WB minus WC divided by Q, where WB minus WC is the work done in carrying the charge from point C to B. Therefore, V is equal to work done divided by amount of charge transferred. Potential difference is a scalar quantity. How do we measure this potential difference? We measure it using an instrument called voltmeter. Voltmeter is always connected in parallel, across which we have to measure the potential difference. We can also discuss about electric current. The quantity of charge flowing per unit time is called as electric current. Therefore, the electric current is the charge flowing through any cross section of the conductor in a unit time. I is equal to charge q divided by time t, where q is the charge in the coulomb flowing through the conductor in t seconds. The unit of current is ampere. 1 milliampere is equal to 10 to the power minus 3 ampere and 1 microampere is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 ampere. How do we measure current? An ammeter is an instrument which is connected in series in an electrical circuit, and it indicates how many amperes of current is flowing in the electrical circuit. Basis this, let us talk about what is a cell. The external source of energy is called as cell. Cell forces the charge carriers, especially electrons, already present in the wire to move in a definite direction, that is from lower potential to the higher potential region. It maintains a constant potential difference between the two ends of a wire in a circuit. The combination of cells is called as battery. One of the earliest and simplest devices capable of producing steady current was invented by Alessandro Volta, named as Voltaic cell. Batteries are good source of direct current. The question arises, what is direct current? Direct current means the electric current is flowing in one direction only in a circuit. Let us talk about conductors and insulators. Well, conductors are the materials which allow the electric current to flow through them quite freely. Examples are metals like silver, copper, aluminum, while insulators are the materials which do not allow electricity to flow through them freely. Examples are rubber, glass, bakelite, etc. Now, there is another important thing to be discussed, and that is resistors. The electrical resistance is the tendency to resist the flow of electric current. A wire having a desired resistance for use in an electric circuit is called as resistor. It is represented by a symbol. What is the use of resistance? Resistance in a conductor causes part of electrical energy to turn into heat, so some electrical energy is lost along the path. It is this resistance which allows us to use electricity for light and heat. We receive light from electric bulb and heat generated through electric heaters. Since we have now known to these terms, we should talk about Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? For this, connect the fixed resistor, ammeter, tricell, plug key, rheostat in series and voltmeter in parallel to resistance. Here V is equal to Ri. What do you observe? When we connect this circuit, we see on increasing ammeter reading, voltmeter reading increases in the same proportion, and the voltage current graph is shown to be a straight line in this figure. What do you conclude from this? Well, the current flowing through a wire is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across its ends, that is, V is proportional to I, and when we remove the proportionality sign, we have V is equal to Ri. Here R is a constant of proportionality and is called the resistance of the given metallic wire. Therefore, the Ohm's law states that the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across the ends of the conductor, provided the temperature of the conductor remains the same. There are certain points to be pondered about. That is, the resistance of the wire is directly proportional to the length and inversely proportional to the cross section area. That is, the longer the wire, more the resistance. The thicker the wire, lesser the resistance. More the width, lesser the resistance. If by sheer chance the temperature of the conductor increases, then its resistance also increases. R depends on the nature of the material. That is, a copper wire has a lesser resistance than the iron wire. R is inversely proportional to the cross-sectional area. R is a scalar quantity and its unit is ohm, denoted by the symbol omega. We can have two different combinations of resistors, series combination and a parallel combination. In a series combination, we have R is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3, that is, the equivalent resistance of the three resistors connected in series is equal to the sum of their individual resistances, while in parallel it is 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3, that is, the sum of reciprocals of the separate resistances is equal to the reciprocal of equivalent resistor Rp. Do you know that all our appliances in household circuits are connected in parallel, but the chain of small bulbs that we use for decoration on Deepavali has the bulbs connected in series. There is one more thing. As we add resistances in series, the circuit resistance increases, but when we connect the resistance in parallel, the total resistance is smaller than the smallest of the resistances involved. There is another device known as multimeter. It is also called as an aviometer, that is ammeter, voltmeter and ohm meter, which is used for measurement of current, voltage and resistance. There is also an heating effect associated with electric current. In an electrical circuit, electrical energy is converted into heat energy. This effect is known as thermal effect of electric current or Joule's heating. Examples are electric bulb and heater. This Joule's heating, and what exactly it is? The work done in moving the electric charge across a resistance appears in the form of heat. Therefore, the heat produced in the conductor is H is equal to I square R T. W is equal to potential difference V into charge Q, and since charge is equal to I T, we have W is equal to V I T. According to Ohm's law, V is equal to I R. On substituting, we get W is equal to I square R T. The amount of heat produced in a conductor on passing the current I is directly proportional to the square of the current, the resistance of the conductor and the time t for which the current flows through the conductor. This is known as Joule's law of heating. SI unit of heat is 1 joule and 4.18 joule combined to form 1 calorie. Let's talk about electric power. The rate at which electric energy is consumed or dissipated is termed as electric power. Electric power is equal to work done divided by time taken. Work done is VIT divided by T. Therefore, electric power is equal to VI or P is equal to I square R. The SI unit of electric power is joule per second or watt. We should remember that the SI unit for the consumption of electrical energy is joule, but it is very small from practical point of view. Therefore, the electrical energy spent in electric circuit is generally expressed in watt hour or kilowatt hour. For electric power, another bigger unit, horsepower, is also used, and 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watt. Electrical energy consumed by electrical appliances is equal to the product of the power and the time for which it is used. Let's talk about what is 1 kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour is the amount of electric energy consumed when 1 kilowatt power is used for 1 hour in an electric circuit, which is equal to 1 kilowatt into 1 hour or 1000 watt into 3600 second or 1000 joule per second into 3600 second will give you 3.6 into 10 raised to power 6 joules. There is another thing, very important device, that is electric tester. What does it do? It is used to indicate the presence of electricity, AC or DC, in a circuit. It is like a screwdriver. The screwdriver has a handle which can hold easily. It has a neon indicator bulb. The screw end of the tester is just touched with the chassis of the appliances like electric iron, and a finger is kept on the clip of the tester to provide earth. If the neon bulb glows up with a reddish light, it shows that the current is passing through the chassis and it would give you a shock. Therefore, it is essential to switch off the mains immediately. If the light does not glow, it indicates there is no leakage of current. It is a must tool for electrical, automotive, electronic and appliance repairers. What have you learnt so far in this lesson? Let us talk about certain points, that is, the force of attraction between the electrons and the protons hold an atom together. Like charges repel each other, unlike charges attract each other. The force between two charges is given by Coulomb's law. The closer together the charges are, the stronger is the electrostatic force between them. The potential at a point is the amount of work done in bringing a unit positive charge from infinity to that point. Also, we have learned the potential difference between 2 points is the amount of work done in moving a unit positive charge from one point to another. Electric current at a place is the charge passing per unit time through that place. Electric cell is a device with the help of which we can apply a potential difference between the two ends of a wire, due to which the current will flow through the wire. Also, the circuit diagrams are used to show how all components connect together to make a circuit. Ohm's law states that the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across its ends, provided physical condition, temperature, etc. of the conductor remaining the same. In the end, we talked about the obstruction offered to the flow of current by wire called resistance, and in series the total resistance of the combination is equal to the sum of the individual resistances. In parallel, the reciprocal of the combined resistor is equal to the sum of the reciprocals of the individual resistances. Last but not the least, we studied when a current is passed through a conductor, it produces two effects, thermal effect and a magnetic effect. And commercial unit of electrical energy is kilowatt hour, and what is electric power, that is HP. Thank you.